Big scoop, a brand new Marvel rumor is shaking up the internet. Henry Cavill might be joining the MCU, but not as Superman, and not even as the charming hero fans have been imagining. Nope, this time, whispers say he could show up as something darker, stranger, and way more powerful. Annihilus. And here's the twist, Glen Powell's name is in the mix too. So today, we're breaking down how these two names connect to Marvel's next cosmic phase, what the rumors actually mean, and how this could link all the way back to Infinity War and reshape Phase 7 after Secret Wars. Let's start at the top. The latest noise comes from Michael Waldron, the writer behind Loki, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and early drafts of Avengers Secret Wars. He's still working behind the scenes at Marvel, and whenever he pops up in interviews, fans listen. Recently, Waldron dropped a casual mention of Glen Powell in connection with Richard Rider, Nova, and that one comment reignited long-running fan theories, not just about Nova, but about how Henry Cavill could factor into the bigger cosmic storyline. Here's where things get wild. Cavill isn't rumored to play Nova, but Annihilus, the insectoid conqueror from the Negative Zone. In the comics, Annihilus is a brutal cosmic warlord who controls the Annihilation Wave, a plague of interdimensional creatures that nearly destroys the universe. So imagine Cavill, not as a faceless CGI monster, but as a reimagined humanoid Annihilus, intelligent, terrifying, and charismatic enough to command entire galaxies. That's a massive swing, and honestly, it's exactly the kind of bold reinvention Marvel needs right now. To understand why this rumor makes sense, we have to rewind a bit. For years, Marvel's been trying to get a Nova project off the ground. The Nova Corps were wiped out by Thanos off-screen in Infinity War, and fans have been waiting to see that fallout explored. A Nova show was reportedly greenlit years ago, pitched as Starship Troopers meets Marvel, a young recruit story mixed with military sci-fi and propaganda. The idea was for Richard Rider to be this brash, cocky new Nova Corps member. Think Top Gun in space. He joins up, sees the glossy propaganda version of interstellar heroism, and then watches it all burn when the Annihilation Wave hits. Foreground, energetic, darkly, but as a fallen conqueror, regal, intelligent, and absolutely terrifying. Marvel could reimagine Annihilus as a being who once ruled a dying dimension, now seeking to rebuild his empire by consuming worlds. You get the gravitas of Cavill with the menace of a godlike villain. It also lets Marvel explore something more philosophical: survival, decay, and evolution. The kind of grand, thematic storytelling they hinted at in Eternals but never fully delivered. Here's why this matters for Phase 7. Marvel's shifting direction post-Secret Wars. They're setting aside the multiverse for now and leaning hard into cosmic and mutant arcs. Nova, the Negative Zone, Annihilus, and even characters like Quasar or Silver Surfer fit perfectly into that new foundation. Really does join as Annihilus. That could be Marvel's new long-term villain, the next Thanos, but with a cosmic horror twist. Imagine Phase 7 opening with Nova's story, teasing Annihilus behind the scenes, and then building toward an Annihilation-style crossover movie where the entire galaxy unites against him. And it's not just fan theory. There's historical proof Marvel's been circling this for a while. James Gunn once planned to include Annihilus as Rocket's creator in Guardians Volume 3 before pivoting to the High Evolutionary. Early drafts of the Marvels even toyed with an Annihilus post-credits tease, so the seeds have been there for years. The Nova project's tone reportedly leaned toward young recruit propaganda, a glossy vision of the Nova Corps contrasted with the grim reality of war. It would explore how the Corps sells heroism while hiding the human cost. That's where Richard Rider comes in, a rookie who signs up for glory, only to face unimaginable horror when the Annihilation Wave descends. Now, let's talk about that Annihilation Wave. In the comics, it's a swarm of alien monsters controlled by Annihilus, consuming entire galaxies. Imagine Marvel adapting that visually. Endless cosmic dread, space battles lit by collapsing suns, and a villain whose weapon isn't just destruction, but the corruption of order itself. Henry Cavill's schedule is packed with Warhammer 40K and other projects, but a single-phase commitment as a transformative villain? That's doable. And with Cavill's cinematic intensity, Marvel could craft a new type of villain, one that feels Shakespeare's own. In the comics, Reed Richards discovers that realm. which is how Annihilus first appears. So, if Fantastic Four First Steps introduces the negative zone, it would naturally lead into Nova and Annihilus. Marvel's strategy seems clear. Use Secret Wars as a soft reboot, then launch a new saga, the Cosmic Reign, with Nova, Silver Surfer, and Annihilus at its center. Of course, some fans might resist seeing Annihilus humanized or redesigned, but Marvel has done this before. Think of how Hela or Ego were adapted. What matters is whether they make him compelling and terrifying, and Henry Cavill could absolutely sell that duality. A ruler clinging to control, watching his world die, and turning that grief into vengeance. If done right, this could be the most visually stunning and thematically rich storyline since Infinity War. A battle not just between heroes and villains, but between order and chaos, creation and destruction. Marvel has needed a big, fresh villain to anchor its next era. Not another multiverse variant, but a true cosmic conqueror, and Annihilus fits that mold perfectly. So, what do you think? Would Cavill crush it as a reimagined Annihilus? Is Glen Powell the perfect Nova? And more importantly, do you want to see Marvel dive back into the kind of high-stakes, cosmic storytelling that made Infinity War so iconic? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're hyped for this kind of Marvel comeback, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is Movies Updates HQ, breaking down the biggest rumors, the craziest theories, and the future of the MCU.